siblings! I'm Kenny and welcome to Theme Class. So we're back with a brand new theme. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're talking about balanced meals. So can you say, I can learn about balanced meals? One more time. I can learn about balanced meals. But what is a balanced meal? Well, have you ever walked on the balance beam? That's when you have to put one foot in front of the other and make sure that you don't fall. To have good balance, you have to make sure your body is even so you don't fall down. Well, when we eat food, we want to make sure that our foods are even so that we're getting enough nutrition and vitamins to make it through our day. And a meal are the different things we eat, like breakfast or lunch or dinner. So we want to make sure that all the meals we eat have all the good food that's going to help us be healthy and strong. Now, before we get started, I know you've learned a lot about different food groups back when you were in Little Sprouts and Big Sprouts, right? For example, dairy. Can you think of something that's a dairy? I can think of something we drink. Milk. Also, cheese. Those are examples of dairy foods. How about fruit? What's your favorite fruit? My favorite fruit is mango. Well, we learned all these different food groups so that we can know what kind of vitamins and what kind of minerals we get from these foods. But now we want to know, how can we put these different foods together to make a meal? Here, I have a picture of a plate. But look, there's so many different foods in different parts of this plate. This is called the Eat Well Guide, and it shows us how much of each food we should eat in one meal. So you can see some parts of our plate, like this green part, are very big, but some parts, like this purple part, are very small. This tells us that we want a lot of these kinds of foods and only a little bit of these ones. So I want to go through the different parts of this plate so we can see what foods we should eat a lot of every meal and what foods we only need a little bit and why those foods are important. So let's put our guide here and let's start with the biggest part of our plate, this big green section. I wonder, can you figure out what kind of foods these are? Well, it's actually two of our food groups. Fruits and vegetables. Wow, these look amazing. I love eating fresh vegetables, and they're the thing we should have the most of on our plate. So, why is it important to eat lots of fruits and vegetables? Well, they're full of vitamins and minerals. Those are the things that keep us healthy. For example, vitamin K gives us strong bones, and vitamin C helps us so that we don't get sick. All fruits and vegetables have different vitamins and minerals inside them to keep us healthy. That's why it's the biggest part of our plate. They can give us healthy skin, healthy hair, good nails and eyes, strong bones. They help our tummies feel nice after we eat, and a strong immune system. Your immune system is the thing in your body that's fighting for you, that keeps all those germs from getting you sick. So we have lots of different fruits and vegetables that we can eat. I already asked about what your favorite fruit is. How about your favorite vegetable? What's your favorite vegetable? My favorite vegetable is zucchini. I love it. So some examples of fruits and vegetables might be an apple, or maybe some spinach. If you eat these, you can stay nice and healthy. Okay, let's go to the next part of our plate. Well, if fruits and vegetables in this green part was the biggest, what's the next biggest section in our plate? I think this orange one. But there's a lot of different foods here. I wonder if we can figure out what this part of our plate is. Let's look. These are our carbohydrates and also other starchy foods. What does that mean? Well, starches are a kind of sugar that give us a lot of energy from glucose. It's not like sugar in candy, but rather a healthier sugar that gives us a lot of energy. So these are things like bread or all of these beautiful grains we can see here. But if we look on this plate, we can see there's also things like pasta or even potatoes. Now, potatoes are a vegetable, but they're a starchy vegetable, so they can also give us a lot of energy, and they fit in this orange section of our plate instead of this green one. So, like I said, carbohydrates are great for energy. If you eat something like rice or bread in the morning, it helps you keep going strong all day. They're also good for our digestion, a lot like fruits and vegetables, which means they make sure that our stomachs are happy after we eat. So, some examples of carbohydrates or starchy foods could be a bowl of rice or even some potatoes. Okay, let's look at the next part of our plate. Well, we finished the green part and we finished this orange part. What's the next biggest part of our plate? I think it's this pink section. I see some things I recognize, like chicken and fish, but also what are these cans? Beans? What are these? Eggs? All right, let's see. What could this part of our plate be? It's our proteins. Now, I think we all know that we need our proteins to be big and strong. These are the foods that help our muscles grow so that we can run all day long with our strong leg muscles or pick up heavy things with our strong arm muscles. Now, when we think of proteins, we often think of meat. Meat is a great source of protein. We can see here we have things like beef. We can also have chicken, but you can also get proteins from other foods like tofu or beans, even eggs. Those are all great sources of protein. Now, not all protein is the same. Some protein has more salt or sodium, and some has more fat. So it's great to eat lean proteins or proteins with less fat and lower sodium proteins that have less salt in them. So what do these give us? Well, protein, of course, as well as different vitamins and minerals. And they keep not only our muscles strong, but our bones strong too. All right, so there's one more section of our plate where we can see some food. This last one looks a little empty, so we're gonna wait for that one. Let's go on to this blue section. Oh, I think we can figure out what kind of food group this one is. It's dairy. Now, I love dairy, and I love all different kinds of dairy. And this one shows us that we need dairy, but not as much as we need some of our other foods. So dairy can be things like milk or cheese or yogurt. I get so excited on Tuesdays and Thursdays when it's yogurt day, and it's a great way to get the dairy part of our plate. But it can also be things like soy milk or even almond milk. Dairy is great for giving us calcium, which also helps our bones stay strong. More vitamins and protein as well. So this is also giving us strong bones and muscles, just like our proteins. Okay, let's look back at our Eat Well guide. We can see here a little purple section, but there's nothing in it. That's because this part of our plate isn't really something that we eat, it's more something we use. Things like oil and spreads, that's things like margarine or spreadable butter. Do you go and open a container of butter and just put it in your mouth? Of course not. But maybe you take some butter and spread it on your bread. We use the oils and spreads to help us when we are eating these other foods. So it has just a tiny spot on our plate because it's not something we're really sticking in our mouth and eating. Now, if we look, there are two other things on our plate. This one over here, which I think is something that we all like, junk food. We can see there's some chips, cookies, candy, but these are also not on the plate because it's not something we need to eat. They don't give us nutrition like the other items on our plate. They're just something that we like. So they're okay to eat, but just a little bit and only sometimes, not all the time. Otherwise, all the good nutrition we're getting from the rest of our plate will just kind of go away. So you have to make sure we're eating our sweets in moderation. That means just a little at a time. And this last part of our plate over here is very, very important. It's water. So the water is also not on the plate. That's because we shouldn't just wait till mealtime to have water. We should try to drink water all the time. You want to drink 6 to 8 cups of water every day. That's because our bodies are made up 70% of water. Look at all of this. We're mostly water. But throughout the day, you can lose water, especially when you're doing things like exercising and sweating, or when we go out and play and it's very hot outside. So we need to always be drinking water to put more water back into our bodies. So this one doesn't fit on the plate because we want you to always be drinking water. So if you get thirsty, make sure you take a sip from your water bottle. All right, now that we've gone over all the parts of the plate, let's see if we can figure out where some foods go. Now, I made my own plate over here, and I used the same colors. So let's see if we can figure out where my foods fit on this plate. Now, first, let's go over the different parts. Do you remember what this big green part was? It's our fruits and vegetables. How about this other big orange part? This was carbohydrates and starchy foods. How about this pink spot? These are proteins. How about this blue spot? These are our dairies and dairy alternatives. And how about this small purple spot? These are our oils and spreads. So I'm going to pick a food and let's see if we can figure out where it fits on the plate. Oh, chicken. Where should I put it? Here, on the pink, in protein. How about milk? Where does milk fit on our plate? Here, on the blue, in dairy. Okay, let's pick another one. Yogurt. Where does this fit on our plate? Also on the blue, along with milk, in the dairy section. Okay, what else do we have? Cookie. Where does this fit on our plate? It doesn't. It goes off to the side. Maybe after we eat all of our dinner. Okay, what else? Oh, some beans. We can put this either with our vegetables or as a protein. Let's put them over here. But how about these eggs? Let's put them in the protein section. Oh, we still don't have any in our orange section. Let's see, what can we find? Wheat bread. Where does it go? In our orange section for carbohydrates and starchy foods. How about rice? Where does it go? Also here in our starchy foods. And what's this? It's a butter spread. Where could I put that? Right here by our purple section for our butters, or oils, and spreads. Very good. All right, so sometimes it can be hard to imagine, how can I make a plate like this for every meal? Well, sometimes it doesn't look like this. A lot of our foods put these together for different meals. So for example, for breakfast, maybe you'll have cereal or oatmeal. Well, even though these aren't spread out like our plate here, they are using the different sections. So let's look and see. Our oatmeal and our cereal are carbohydrates and starches. You can see on top, there are a lot of fruits to go with our fruits and vegetables. They also use milk, which is dairy. This one has lots of seeds and nuts, which can work for protein. So we can still fit all of our sections of our balanced meal onto a different kind of food. So this works for lunch as well. Like here, with a sandwich or a wrap. The tortilla or the bread are again carbohydrates or starchy foods. You can put cheese on it for dairy, and then whatever meat topic can be the protein. These also both have lots of lettuce and tomatoes for fruits and vegetables. So again, there's our whole balanced meal, but in a smaller package. Dinner as well could be something like pasta. Pasta, again, is a carbohydrate or starchy food, whereas the chicken is a protein. This cream sauce is made with dairy, and the spinach is fruit and vegetable. Very nice. So not all of our meals have to all be separate. You can put things together and still make a delicious meal that's all balanced. Okay, guys, that was a lot, and now I'm really hungry. So thank you for listening about how to make a balanced meal using our Eat Well guide. See you next time.